This is the VOA Special English Education Report. Earlier this year, we reported on the growth of massive open online courses, or MOOCs. These higher education courses are mostly free, and so far largely in technical areas like computer science. MOOCs are usually open to anyone and can have thousands of students around the world. Entrepreneurs and educators are studying the different business possibilities. One idea is to make money by offering credits or certificates to students willing to pay. Another is to charge employers for connecting them with students who get top scores on online tests. Some top universities are starting to offer their own MOOCs. For example, the University of California, Berkeley recently announced it has joined a nonprofit enterprise called edX. Harvard University and the Massachusetts Institute of Technology started edX and have each invested $30 million. Berkeley will offer 2 of the 7 free courses on the edX platform: Artificial Intelligence and Software as a Service. Berkeley will also work with edX to get more universities involved. Schools that offer courses on the edX platform will be called X universities. MIT professor Anant Agarwal is the president of edX, and he helped develop an electrical engineering course for the fall. He says the goal is to reinvent education worldwide and on campus. Berkeley Chancellor Robert Birgeneau made similar comments as he expressed a commitment to excellence in online education. He says the goals are to bring higher education to more people and to enrich the quality of campus-based education. And he added that he believes working with the not-for-profit model of edX is the best way to do that. edX faces for-profit competitors. One is Udacity, co-founded by Sebastian Thrun at Stanford University. Another is Coursera, started by 2 other Stanford computer scientists, Daphne Koller and Andrew Ng. In fact, some Berkeley professors have been teaching free courses through Coursera. Coursera started with 4 universities and in July announced a big expansion. One of the new partners is the University of Virginia. In June, its popular president, Teresa Sullivan, had to resign. The governing board forced her out, in part, over suggestions that she was not moving fast enough into this new world of online education. But 2 weeks later, after campus protests, the board rehired her. And that's the VOA Special English Education Report. I'm Carolyn Presutti.
Welcome to Lesson 1 of the American English Pronunciation course. Today, we're going to practice the difference between seat, sit, and set. The secret to making the difference between these 3 sounds is how much you open your mouth. For the E sound in seat, your mouth is almost closed. For the I sound in sit, your mouth is a little more open. And for the E sound in set, your mouth is even more open. Watch me, listen, and repeat. E, I, E, seat, I, sit, set. Let's practice each sound individually. Common words like seat, easy, each, even, green, peace, key, we, be, see. Notice that this sound can be spelled several different ways. Listen to and repeat these common words like sit, it, if, is, little, big, sick, win, chips, finish. Now listen to and repeat these common words like set, egg, extra, end, 10, head, friend, many, said, again. This sound can also be spelled in several different ways. Now let's practice making the difference with pairs of words that are different by only one sound. Listen and repeat. Leave, live, heat, hit, sheep, ship, meet, met, read, read, teen, 10, fell, fill, mess, miss, dead, did, these, this. Are you ready for something more difficult? Now you're going to see two words and I'm going to say only one of them. You have 3 seconds to identify the word I say before the answer appears. Beat, will, sin, check, feel, best, bitter, hell, sense. It's important to practice these words in sentences too. Here are 9 practice sentences. 3 of them focus on the sound in seat, 3 of them focus on the sound in sit, and 3 of them focus on the sound in set. I'm going to say each sentence 1 time slowly and 1 time at normal speed, and I want you to repeat both times. Sentences focusing on seat. He teaches reading to 3 people. He teaches reading to 3 people. We keep the sheep out of the heat. we keep the sheep out of the heat. She doesn't believe we should eat meat. She doesn't believe we should eat meat. Sentences focusing on sit. There's a bit of chicken and fish in the kitchen. There's a bit of chicken and fish in the kitchen. It's not a quick fix for the business. It's not a quick fix for the business. Jim lives in a big building in the middle of the city. Jim lives in a big building in the middle of the city. Sentences focusing on set. Wendy said she met many men. Wendy said she met many men. My best friend Kevin checked the test. My best friend Kevin checked the test. Don't put your wet, sweaty head on the bed. Don't put your wet, sweaty head on the bed. You've finished Lesson 1 of the American English Pronunciation course. This was a free sample lesson from the course. If you want to get Lessons 2 to 30, click the Register button under this video. And if you're already registered, you'll receive Lesson 2 by email tomorrow. Hello and welcome to Lesson 1 of the Business English course, Essential Job Vocabulary. Let's begin by answering the question, where do you work? This seems like a simple question, but there are many ways to answer it. I work at, I work in, I work for, and I work with. Each preposition is correct in a different context. I work at and I work for are used with the name of the company. For example, I work at Espresso English. I work for Nike. You can also use for if you work directly for a famous person. I work for Tom Cruise. I'm his public relations manager. I work in is used in 4 situations. You can say, I work in a place. I work in an office. I work in a school. I work in a factory. You can also use in with a city or a country. I work in Paris. I work in France. I work in is also used with a department or area of a company. I work in the marketing department. I work in human resources. I work in sales. Finally, you can use I work in with a general area. I work in finance. I work in medical research. I work in consulting. You can say I work with the things or people that are the objects of your day-to-day work. For example, I work with computers. I'm a teacher. I work with special needs children. If you want to add more details about your work, you can say, I'm responsible for. I'm responsible for updating the company website. I'm responsible for interviewing candidates for jobs. After I'm responsible for, use the ing form of the verb. Let's review. I work at a company. I work for a company or a person. I work in a place, city, country, department, or general area. I work with people or things. In conversational English, the question where do you work is commonly phrased as what do you do or what do you do for a living. How do you answer this question if you don't have a job? You can say, I'm unemployed, or more indirectly, I'm between jobs at the moment. If you work for yourself, you can say, I'm self-employed. If you have your own company, you can say, I own a small business. Or, more specifically, I own a restaurant. Or, I own a graphic design company. Now let's learn some essential employment vocabulary. When you are officially accepted into a new job at a company, you are hired by the company. For example, I was hired by an insurance company just 2 weeks after graduating from college. When you're hired, you become an employee of the company. The company becomes your employer. The other employees in the company are your colleagues or co-workers. The person above you who is responsible for your work is your boss or supervisor. As an employee of the company, you earn a salary, money you receive regularly for your work. Don't make the mistake of saying win a salary or get a salary. The correct verb is earn. If you're good at your job, you might get a pay raise or a raise, an increase in your salary. You could also get a promotion, an increase in importance and authority. At the end of the year, some companies give their employees a bonus, extra money for work well done. The opposite of hire is fire, when your company forces you to leave your job. For example, Peter was fired because he never came to work on time. Usually if someone is fired, it's because they did something bad. If an employee loses his or her job because of a neutral reason, like the company reducing its size, then we say the employee was laid off. For example, Donna was laid off when her company started having financial problems. If you decide to leave your job, there are 3 verbs you can use. I'm going to quit my job. I'm going to leave my job. I'm going to resign. Quit is informal. Resign is formal. And leave can be formal or informal. When an old person decides to stop working, the verb for this is retire. In most countries, people retire around age 65. Let's review the vocabulary you learned in this lesson. Listen and repeat to practice your pronunciation. Hire, employee, employer, colleague, co-worker, boss, supervisor, fire, laid off, earn a salary, get a pay raise, get a promotion, get a bonus, quit your job, leave your job, resign from your job, retire. Now you can take the vocabulary quiz to practice using these words and sentences. there's also a bonus quiz with extra vocabulary related to professions. That's it for Lesson 1 of the Business English course. Come back tomorrow for Lesson 2, Interview English. Hi there! Do you want to learn real spoken English for everyday situations? The Everyday English Speaking course will teach you practical English in the context of conversations. It's a simple, fun, and effective way to learn new words and expressions and improve your ability to speak in English. Each lesson is based on conversations on a specific topic. Reading and listening to the dialogues will help you improve your understanding of spoken English. The next part of the lesson explains and expands upon the vocabulary you heard in the conversations, teaching you new words and showing you how to use them. There are lots of practice phrases, which you can listen to and repeat to improve your English speaking. Quizzes will help you test yourself and remember the new vocabulary, and there are also opportunities for you to send speaking samples and get feedback from me, the teacher. In this course, you'll learn how to speak English in the typical situations of daily life, like talking on the phone, going to restaurants and going shopping, travel English for the airport, hotel, and sightseeing, and talking about hobbies and entertainment. You'll also learn important phrases for social English, so that you can interact with other English speakers successfully and confidently, with lessons on agreeing and disagreeing, giving opinions and advice, asking and interrupting politely, and expressing your thoughts and feelings. We also cover some practical vocabulary for talking about information, similarities and differences, certainty and probability, and hypothetical situations. And finally, there are a few lessons on topics you don't often find in textbooks, like slang and euphemisms, interjections and swearing, discourse markers, and using vague language. Other students who have taken this course describe it as very good with clear explanations, useful for daily life, brilliant, warm, nice, and concrete, and totally worth it. More than 100 students have taken this course and enjoyed it, and I hope you will too. When you register, you'll get instant access to 45 lessons. You can take them online or download the text and audio. It's self-paced, so you can study as fast or as slow as you want. There's no time limit. And of course, you can always email me if you have any questions about the lessons. I'm here to help. The Everyday English Speaking course is $45. That's just $1 per lesson. To register and start the course today, click the green button under this video.